Welcome to the 83rd episode of the Meeple Society, a podcast about board games hosted by two longtime role players turned avid board gamers. My name is Katie.
I'm Greg.
On this episode, we talk about gaming groups, games we've bought and games we've backed, and we visit the mailbag. We wrap up by heading out into the black, aiming to misbehave, find some new and unknown planets to colonize. But first, Greg has scheduled us a tour of the Green Oaks nursing home. I mean, I know we're getting close to retirement, but we're not that close.
The Green Oaks is a beautiful facility where those who have reached the winter of their life can find various recreational activities, new friends, and all of the professionalism of top-level nursing staff. Green Oaks is a role-playing game where each player takes on the role of an elder living at Green Oaks, a charming greenery-surrounded structure. Rumors swirl that great treasures are hidden in its basement. Some believe the entire building is actually an alien base conducting experiments on its elderly residents. Local youth whisper that the structure is built over an ancient Native American cemetery, while others say it is the very mouth of hell. In Green Oaks, every player embodies an elder, defined by three simple descriptors. One player takes on the role of the narrator, guiding the story and facilitating the experience for everyone. Green Oaks is designed to be a fast-paced game, perfect for loud, fun game nights. The Werther system makes it easy to improvise everything, from plot twists to characters, even if it's your first time running a session. If you're a fan of Baba Hotep, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, or Murder, She Wrote, you'll feel right at home in Green Oaks.
Okay.
So, not saying that our role-playing group is old, but we all are above 40.
This sounds... Okay, so when you showed this to me yesterday, I thought, what the heck?
Mm-hmm.
But now, and I had not read this description.
Right.
But after listening to you read that description, I'm like, that actually sounds kind of fun.
Yes, 'cause I can see our gaming group playing
Oh my
this.
gosh. We would have so much fun with this.
Because when we role play, we get so much into the role playing of it.
Yes.
We
get into
character. You can find this game on the Gaming Guild for roughly $19. It's $18.69. The craziest thing about it is it's 3 pamphlets, kind of about the size of a D&D, the old D&D campaigns, and it looks like a brochure for a Green Oaks.
It literally says brochure on the cover.
Yeah.
Your New Home, a role-playing game by so-and-so. Okay, Green Oaks brochure. I can't read the name on that. It's too small. By Roberto DeLove?
Yeah,
Just something.
like
I can't
that.
read it.
I can look at it.
What's
It
it
is
say?
Roberto De Luca,
Okay.
published by Fumble GDR. This came out in 2021 as well.
Wow, it's been out for a
so
while.
it's been out for a while, but we're just now finding this.
I kind of almost want to order this. and see what it is. I mean,
So, okay, guys, we're going to play old people, because I
This
can
is
just
so
imagine everybody
funny.
playing themselves at an older age. And having one of our millennial or zennial children run the game. And have to
That
deal
would
with
be
us old people.
awesome. Oh my gosh, that would be great.
Yeah,
All right,
I heard this on another podcast. I was like, oh gosh, we got to talk about this.
gotta check this out.
This fits. It's part of our role playing background.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, every one of us in the group is over 40 now.
Most
Is
of us
Ben
are
over
in
40?
our 50s. Ben just turned 40.
Okay, so
Yes.
we are at least
Right?
in our 40s.
He's got to be. Okay, yeah, maybe he is only 40.
He's the baby of the group.
He is the baby of the group. But I swear.
So that means that
No, he's mid-40s. He's got to be mid-40s.
how much older is he? Younger than Tony?
Like 2 weeks?
2 weeks. And how old is Tony?
Maybe a month.
And how old is Tony?
2 years younger than Joe.
And how old is Joe?
10 years younger than me.
And how old are you?
Shut up.
2 years younger than you. Okay, so if you want to do the math, I'm
So-
58.
So that would put Joe at 46 this September. Sorry, Joe. I'm like totally giving away things here. So that'd put Tony at 44. So they're both in their early 40s.
Okay. So the youngest one's like 44. The oldest one is 60.
Yeah.
So yes, we're all old people now.
Yeah.
Ben even has the graying hair now, so. And he's the baby of the group.
He said it, Ben, not me. Okay, so anyway, but yeah, I think this would be a hoot to play. I think this would be hysterical. So if any of our friends are listening, Ben, Joe, Tony, Sarah would love this. Oh my gosh, would she get into this? All of us. Kat, I don't know who all listens to the podcast. I really don't, but let us know. I will gladly buy the stuff.
So that is Green Oaks RPG. Like I said, you can get it at Noble Knights for under $20 if you're into role-playing games and feel like this would be a hoot, which I think it would be. This sounds really cool. Check it out.
Noble Knights or the Gaming Guild? Is
the
that
Gaming
same
Guild.
thing?
I'm sorry. It's the Gaming Guild.
The website I'm looking at is the Gaming Guild. Okay.
Yes, it's the Gaming Guild.
Okay.
And now, it is time for the most anticipated segment of the podcast. It is time for Random Board Game Banter!
Okay, so this week we want to talk about gaming groups. Do you have them? How do you schedule your gaming nights? And how big are they? We have a big game group that has kind of carried over from our role-playing days.
Yes. We have what we call our core group. Which are the people we have known for better than 20 years.
Yes.
And people have come in and out of the group. Some people have come. There's been marriages, divorces. People have moved. Unfortunately, people have passed away. So we've got our core group.
Yeah.
Of those of us who have been there for more than 25 years. And right now, that's pretty much it. We don't have any extras in at the moment.
In the core.
In the core group.
Yeah. Nobody's made it into the core yet.
Well,
the
it's
new
like,
core.
It's just kind of been set.
Right.
So, but in addition to that, and up until 5 years ago, that's all we had was just that core group of people. And then after COVID and things started opening back up again, we got involved with a local gaming group called BGI, Board Gaming Indie.
Yep.
The Facebook page has over 2,000 people on it.
But
it's probably
there's not 2,000 that's active on the Facebook
there
page.
might be 50 or 60 of us active on the page. I'm not even active on the page, though I scroll it constantly, but I don't post on there very often. I do comment.
You're a looker or a lurker.
I'm a lurker. I do comment.
A lurker.
I do comment, and I do go to the event, so that gives me some credit. But from that group, we have started meeting other people. That and doing this podcast, doing the videos, we have put stuff out there on various groups and met people that way. Like that's how we met Connor. We put out
That's how we met Jeff.
Yes.
Jeff
we met
Hammer.
Connor that way. We met Jeff Hammer that way by just putting things out going, hey guys, we need people to help us play this. Anybody interested? And we've slowly grown our gaming group that way.
Yeah, we just added 3 more to our group. Just
in the last 2
couple
weeks. Yeah. Jason, Rob, and April.
Yeah.
We've all met in the last 2 or 3 weeks. And
Jason was at our New Year's redo.
Yeah.
And we last night just hung out with Rob and April at their house. They have an awesome game room.
Yeah. Okay, so through BGI, though, 1, we've met these new people. But 2, we've met other people that we go to these events and we've gotten to game with them. Of course, we talk about the Dice Tower Retreat all the time. BGI has a big presence at the Dice Tower Retreat.
Yeah, we have a
group
picture
of 300 people. Last year, we must have had 20 or 30 of us there.
Yeah, you'll have to put up the picture.
I'll have to put up the picture we have. Yeah, and that wasn't even everybody. Some people couldn't make the picture.
Right.
It was a last-minute decision. This year, we have to schedule that.
I did.
Well, I know.
Well, I put it out to said we need to do it, but I didn't actually give a time.
Right.
Until
we need to set that time before we leave.
We got Brandon to go and start.
Yes.
Rounding up people.
So, like as I was going, through that group, we've met Bill and Brandon and just tons of people. And now I've started going to ladies' night, so I'm going to start getting to know all of them more. So I think, and heck, I've offered to host next month's. We'll see how that goes.
And I have to find someplace to go or get locked up in my bedroom.
You can go into Eric's room and play video games with him all night. Or come in here and just play a game with him in here or something. I don't know.
Oh,
I'm getting a look. I'm getting a look. See,
you talked about making this room available for games.
Well, if we need it, but we never have in the past. But
we'll see.
Anyway, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it because I don't know what's happening next month yet. The point being that we've put ourselves out there in a big way.
Yeah.
and have met some fantastic people by doing so.
A lot of it, we do schedule game nights with certain
almost
groups.
have
We
to.
have Coopla Nerds that we
Yes.
schedule.
Which we met at the Dice Tower Retreat and are part of Board Game Indie. We met them outside of the BGI Facebook page,
Right.
though.
We schedule with Doug and Sarah for our cooperative Sundays.
Yes.
We have Justin and Jackie, our son and daughter-in-law.
We have to schedule
do
them.
once a month. All these are usually just scheduled once a month because we have them. We just started scheduling with Kat.
Yes. Yeah,
For a Friday night.
I got to get a hold of her and schedule. We forgot to schedule next one.
And then we now have Rob and April,
Yeah.
which we still have to schedule. That.
Yeah, their schedule's kind of wonky because of their careers. So we'll have to see what happens there as to when we can schedule the next one. And we've been talking about getting something scheduled with the Dylan Hadra, but
Yep. And
we just
Eric.
again schedules.
Our other son, Eric.
Yeah.
To play, what is that game?
Deep Rock Galactic.
Deep Rock Galactic,
So-
yes.
But the point being that we have found it easier that before a game night is even over, Doug and Sarah are here. We're wrapping up. We've put away the game. We're just sitting there chatting for a few minutes. Sarah and I both pull out our phones and we compare schedules and we set the next date.
Yeah.
Because we have learned if we don't, it never happens.
Yep.
So, or it takes months for the next one to happen because we just forget and we get busy and we don't see each other because we don't have anything scheduled. And it used to be we saw these people literally every weekend.
Every weekend.
We
Yep.
were, what is
Friday
that?
to Sunday.
Yeah,
Almost.
what is that saying? It takes a village.
Yep.
We were a village, you know, and we raised each other's kids.
Yep.
We really did. And unfortunately, as the kids got older, lives got busier, we don't see them as often anymore.
Nope.
So, but we try to schedule the game night so we can.
Yes.
So, anyway.
So we got, how big are they?
How big are the game groups? Ours is extensive, but it's broken into pieces.
Yes, our normal scheduled game nights are no more than 4 people.
4 to 6. If we have a game night with our core group, if we schedule a party night or
well,
something like that, it could
that's
be
why I said
6
our
to 8
scheduled are already
Yes.
set in stone
Oh,
scheduling
yes.
nights that we have. That's like, okay, you get this night, this Saturday of the month, and you get that Saturday of the month, and you get that
That's
Saturday
awful.
month. Everybody gets a Saturday.
The ones
Anyway,
that we have set for specific games.
right. It's usually 4 or
Maybe
3 or 4.
Yeah.
It's mostly 4 though. Catherine is just the 3.
Right.
So, but then, like I said, when we have big get-togethers that, hey, we're having a gaming day at the house, come on out.
We
come
invite
when
everybody.
You can, leave when you need to, and
Yep.
we usually start at noon and
Noon
play till whenever the
everybody
last
leaves.
person leaves.
Exactly. But occasionally, and I unfortunately say this because I know we're going to have to schedule one coming up because the S's have some party games in it we're going to have to get through, and we can't do
Yes.
party games on our own.
And
It
the
just
S's have
doesn't
some
work the
big
same.
games that need to be played too.
Right. So we're going to have to schedule what we call a party day. And we we usually put it out there to our core group first.
Yeah.
And if we can get 6 or 7 people over here, then great.
Yeah.
And it's a way for all of us at one time to get together again and just laugh.
Yeah.
Because we
Yeah,
don't
'cause
get
we
that
can-
opportunity
because
very
they're party
often.
games and we can all fit into the same game.
Exactly. So we open it up to the core group first, and then if some of the core group can't come, I start throwing the invitation out there to other people. Mm-hmm. But those usually turn into 7 or 8 people. But so yeah, we've got a pretty wide mix. We feel very lucky.
Well, as Jeff said,
We live in the mecca of gaming.
yes. Which I don't see it, but
I
it's mainly because we have Gen Con and we have multiple game stores we can.
We have
go
a
to.
plethora of game stores within a 30-minute drive of us. And I know a lot of people are not that lucky. They're lucky if they have one.
I'm trying to count.
He's
them.
counting
There's
them.
at least 10 of them.
Yeah, there's a lot. But, so yeah, like I said, I feel very lucky in that aspect.
Yeah. So let us know about your gaming group, how you found it, how long you've been gaming. Do you have a gaming core or do you spread out to multiple different areas? Just let us know in the comments. Video releases. Playing through our collection, episodes 77 and 78. That
Yes.
finishes off the R's, correct?
Yay! Yes. Ours are done.
Yep. So Rob will be happy since he said that we're stuck on the R's. I was like, no,
We-
we're done with them. We're into the
done.
S's.
Yeah, well, we've got a go back video first, which, and I said 2
that's
weeks
true.
ago, I said something about this week being more exciting, but I think I correct myself about next week being more exciting, next episode.
Next episode.
This one, not so much, just the 2 videos.
Yeah, because our top 100 will start dropping.
Yes. Right now, I'm actively editing top 100 videos. I've got a playthrough video I'm editing for Bear Mountain Camping Adventure. I thought there was something else. Oh, we've got
The
the
go back
the
video.
go back video to film, which has 13 really great games on it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, 12 really great games and one
Which
but that's
was the
just me. That'd be a spoiler if I told them.
I was just like, what's the Trying to think of the games we had, and like, what ones did she not like?
You'll know it as soon as you look at the shelf. Anyway, so there's a lot coming up.
Oh, I think I know what it is.
I feel like I'm going to need to take a whole day off just to edit. So yes, much more coming soon.
Yep. New to the collection. We finally picked up Civolution.
We did.
Hey, I got it right that time. I've been calling it civilization.
Civilization.
Civilization, yes. It was
Yes,
civilization.
and I was stuck on that word for the rest of the day when you said that. Yes. Anyway.
But we've been looking for that for a couple
We
weeks.
had
We
been.
finally found it.
We had
We've
been.
got it played. Whew, that
Wow.
is a game.
I don't even know where to begin to start to explain that one, other than the fact there are a ton of chits involved. There's a ton of cardboard in that game. The
Yes.
player boards are what they call consoles. It's your
Yes.
player console because it
It's
is
big.
easily a foot and a half
unfolds.
wide. It is fantastic. It's very well done. It's very good the way they did it. I really like the way they designed it. We're not going to go really deep into this one because it's a dice placement. That's about as far as I'm going to go. Your workers are dice, and you're using dice to do different actions. We're going to probably do a deep dive on this one, probably not next week, but here in the near future. So
Well,
we'll
no,
come
not
back to
next
that.
week because, we do this every 2 weeks.
Shut up. They knew what I meant. Anyway, so we're going to come back to that one because we'll have to find something to pair it with that's maybe not quite so heavy. But it is a Steffenfeld game. It is definitely one of his crunchiest. So if you like Steffenfeld and you like the heavier games, check this one out for sure.
Hey, we actually just picked this one up yesterday.
Yeah.
This is Skullville. This is the second printing of Skullville,
Yeah.
and it comes with the expansion, so you don't have to look for the expansion now.
Yes, I thought that was pretty nice that they added the expansion into it, which is cool.
I think it's Trick or Treat Games is the one that put
I
it
think
out now.
that sounds familiar, yeah.
Because I believe it was...
It was
yeah.
Tasty Minstrel.
Tasty
It was
Minstrel,
TMG.
so yeah, so it was
That's what I
TMG.
thought, okay.
Since then, Trick or Treat Game has put out a second edition to it, and we picked it up yesterday. It's all about
Making peppers.
making peppers,
How-
but you're
growing peppers, how to breed
breeding
them, yeah.
you're crossbreeding peppers to make hotter peppers and peppers to get more points.
Yeah.
And it's just a really cool way of how you go about doing it and how
A
you're
little
picking
bit
up
of,
peppers and
DNA and genealogy training here.
So this one will be out on the second S video, part
Yes,
2.
part 2 of the S videos.
Games We Back. So if you remember on the last episode, we were kind of him hauling around. There you go. There's an old
There's
person's term.
Green Hills, here he comes.
Right. We were talking about Star Trek Ascendancy, the Final Frontier on GameFound, and we were like, do we want to back it? Do we not? Well, it comes to find out that you were all in the back it, but wasn't sure about me, and I was all in the back it because I wasn't sure about you because you had told me at one point we didn't need anything else for Star Trek Ascendancy.
Oh, I know.
Well, guess what, guys?
We backed
She clicked
it.
the back button.
I did click the back button.
So we have backed this. It gives us three more races.
Yes. And the storage was the big thing.
Yeah. But the storage solutions are really cool now because
Yeah.
cubed. So one of them is the Borg cube. The other one is a top-down view of the Enterprise.
Right, with the NCC,
Yep.
what is it, 1701A?
Something like that.
I'm going off memory there. I don't know if that's right. But yeah, no, I thought the marketing on that, or the not even marketing, what is that called? The graphic design department, whoever designed that box, at least the artwork on the box, that was ingenious. I mean, it was kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah.
When you are making a storage solution that's going to be big enough to fill a Calyx cube or a similar type cube, and you have access to things like, I don't know, the Borg cube in your universe, heck yeah, use it.
Yep. Yeah, because the storage solution is 2 cubed boxes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so I'm anxious to get that. It's going to be another year before we get it. Unfortunately, we will definitely get to Star Trek Ascendancy in the Playing Through Our Collection videos before
So
then.
before this, yeah.
But I'm still looking forward to it.
We will still be able to play the game. The game's not going to change.
No.
It's
It's just adding more factions and a new. I thought there was a new solo variant in it. And
yes,
things
it
like
has
that,
a solo variant in it because now it becomes a 1 to 13 player game.
1 to 12, I thought, but
Is it 1 to 12?
It's still way more than we will ever put in the game, so it doesn't matter. I couldn't imagine playing this game with more than 4 to 6
1
people.
to 12 players.
Yeah.
1 hour per player.
Yeah, no, we're not playing this with more than 6.
And that's probably stretching it to be
Yes.
1 hour. It's probably more like an hour and a half or so per player.
Oh, easy. Yeah. Well, just you get some AP and you get those space lanes starting to merge, and yeah, it's going to be a minute.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. I'm looking forward to getting it, though. I'm looking forward to playing this.
I'm
one
just
again.
looking
I
forward to
enjoyed it.
playing it again.
Yeah. Yes. So anyway, that is all we've backed. That is all we're going to back. We're back up to a dozen things backed on Kickstarter, GameFound, Backer Kit. I think we've got things on all 3 now.
Mail call.
All right. So we're going to start out the mailbag with actually a couple of comments we've gotten on recent podcast uploads on YouTube. So episode 81, Elaine commented. Now, Elaine, we met at Dice Tower West.
A couple years ago.
2 years ago now, actually.
Yeah, because as we're recording, it's the last day of Dice Tower West for
we
this
didn't
year.
get to go this year, but eventually we'll get back out there.
Yeah, your mom gets back out to Phoenix. We can
Exactly.
do the whole visit mom and go up and to the retreat.
Yep.
Or not the retreat, the convention.
Yep, convention. Okay, anyway, so Elaine writes, always enjoy the podcast on YouTube. Thank you, Elaine. Speedy recovery to Greg. I'll let you explain that one.
Well, that refers to on the last one. I said
The
that.
last one or 2 times ago? I think it was 2 weeks, 2 times, because you had a month left of your sentence, but the last time we talked about it.
Was it? I thought I was already 4 weeks in.
No, you were 2 weeks in when you were sentenced to the boot. Because you had to wear the boot for a month.
But it's only been 2 weeks since then, and I'm out of the boot. Spoilers. Anyway, I am been released of the boot. I am walking. Today was a really good day. I haven't had any pain in my heel though.
That's good.
But there for a little bit after I got out of the boot, getting up, or like if I sat down at lunch and then I would have to stand back up because I'm on my feet all day long except for to sit down for a lunch or a break. It's just getting back up out of the truck after a break or lunch and that. Those first couple steps is like, oh. But then again, my boots don't have a lot of support, which I've now
hopefully remedied that.
Yeah.
Yeah. He bought the old person insoles.
I did not. I bought some that, never mind.
And by the way, I have proof it was a month ago because look at the episode number of this comment. That was posted a month ago. So there.
Okay.
Anyway, episode 82, Elaine also wrote, greetings from California. I think you guys are both partners in crime when it comes to acquiring new games. And then asked if we were going to Dice Tower West. Unfortunately not. But so I'm thinking that refers to the conversation we had last episode about you purchasing all that stuff from Noble Knights.
Yes.
6 new games from Noble Knights. Yes, I pushed the buy button, but you put them all in the cart and told me they were all ready. All I had to do was go in and approve it.
I did not say they were all ready. I said I have some in the cart
We're gonna rehash this discussion.
that I found.
Okay.
It was up to you what ones we ordered.
Okay.
That is exactly what I told you, too.
I don't remember that part.
See,
Anyway,
people, she never
we had
remembers
this
anything that I
discussion.
tell her.
Yeah, whatever. We had this discussion 2 weeks ago. We're not going to do it again. Anyway, in
But Elaine
some
agrees
cases,
that we're partners in crime.
in some cases, she is very much correct. I could have said no last night for Scoville, but I was nice.
But you didn't.
Said fine. So he instigates. I just don't stop him. How's that?
Yeah, I just said the only one in here that I would see wanting to get right now was Scoville.
Uh-huh.
And then we looked in some other areas.
Uh-huh.
And then I said, do you want to get Scoville or not? It doesn't matter to me. And you said, yeah, we can get it. It's like, well, okay then.
Because I knew you wanted it. Anyway.
So as she says, we're partners in crime.
Yeah.
And I fully agree.
Oh, whatever. Anyway, moving on. Christian Kaufman writes, okay, so this is actually a mailbag question. Christian Kaufman writes, what is the game that for you that has the most setup? For me, it is Marvel Legendary or most deck building games. Concordia, Xenoshift, or Lord of the Rings deck building game. I don't remember enough of Concordia. We've only played Xenoshift once. It's going to be a very short X video, spoilers. But Marvel Legendary, I actually think the teardown is more cumbersome than the setup. But I don't know. I don't usually do the setup.
Yeah, you
I
don't
just
do
help
the
with
setup for the games.
Yeah, I don't do setup. I set up some games. I just don't set up Marvel Legendary. You and Justin always handle that whenever we play.
That's what we were just talking about. You don't set up that game.
Okay, I thought you said games. Anyway. But I do help with teardown, and that is very cumbersome, sorting all the cards back out.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the games that we had to seriously think about this one because I guess I've never really thought about how long setup takes in a game. It is what it is. It's part of playing the game. But then we started thinking about it, and ice is the first one that popped to mind.
Yeah. Ice is a lot.
There's a lot of tiles in that, and they're all different color. They're sorted into 5 different colors, the version we have, because we have the original version of ice. And you have to physically build the board.
Yeah.
And put all the tiles in and literally build your layers out. It's cool as heck when you're playing it.
Mm-hmm.
But it takes a while to set it up. Another one, we played Firefly
just
a couple nights ago.
Yeah.
And that one... with all the cards.
Because all the cards and everything, it's a lot.
There must be 18 to 20 decks of cards in that game.
Yeah.
And all the cards, and you not only have the cards, you have discard piles. You have to set up discard piles for each one of them because they're, that's stuff that's easily available to shop for. And
if you're one of those
a
people
lot.
that split up the expansions,
yeah,
then it's like, what expansions are you playing with? And put those cards in. Is there anything in this expansion that needs to replace something in the base game? And
yeah,
we just threw everything together now.
We did, although we probably need to go back through it and pull out cards that are identical from different expansions because I don't know if they all need to be in there. Because that's probably why our decks are so darn thick. Just saying. Anyway.
Well, every expansion adds cards to the decks.
Agreed. Anyway, regardless. So, anything else?
Eclipse.
The Eclipse has a ton of tiles to put out. Yeah, a ton of tiles, lots of pieces on your player board.
Yeah, Twilight Imperium has a lot.
Yeah.
Andromeda's Edge is kind of heavy to set up.
I think the player trays in that help.
Mm-hmm. And Deep Shelf has a little bit of setup to do it.
Yeah.
But I think Ice is probably the heaviest
by far
one
of our longest setups. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I agree there. I hope that answers your question, Christian.
Something old, something new, something borrowed, or something that's blue.
That is blue, not that blue, huh? Okay.
That is blue.
We might need to come up with a new name now that we're not doing 4 games.
Or something blue. There you go.
Okay.
Anyway, if you got a new comment, a new name for this area, let us know.
Please.
So we are doing Planet Unknown with the Supermoon expansion first.
All right, so we're going to start out with Planet Unknown. Planet Unknown is a game that was put out on Kickstarter. It's now widely available in 2022. Plays 1 to 6 players in 60 to 80 minutes, ages 10 and up. Was designed by Ryan Lambert and Adam Ryberg. Art was done by Yoma. Published by Adam's Apple Games. The expansion, so I'll go ahead and do that real quick while I'm going through all the technical stuff. Everything pretty much stays the same. It's 1 to 6 players, an hour to an hour and 20 minutes, 15 minutes.
2024.
published in 2024, though. Same designers, same publisher. This one added James Churchill as the artist in addition to Yoma. Basics for Planet Unknown. Planet Unknown is a polyomino placement game. You are putting polyominoes onto your planet, your board, while raising basically technology tracks. You've got a board, corporation board with 5 technology tracks that give you various benefits throughout the game as you are laying the tiles down. So the gimmick to this game is the lazy Susan that sits in the middle of the table. Whoever's turn it is to pick the area they want spins the lazy Susan until they get to the set of polyominoes they want to choose from. There's 12 in the lazy Susan. Each person has a choice of 2 that comes in their little pie piece of the lazy Susan. So once the person whose turn it is chooses which one they want, everybody else looks at the pie piece in front of them and chooses from those 2 pieces to put onto their board. Once they've made their choices, they add it to their board. Standard polyomino rules. You can't go off the planet. You can't go outside of the lines. You can't overlap tiles. They have to be laid next to each other. Standard polyomino rules. Once you've laid your polyominoes down, if it's a tile that gives you benefits, you do those benefits. Like the rover will typically move up your rover track and allow you to move your rover around the planet, picking up asteroids or meteorites and picking up life pods. Those are all points at the end of the game. The biomass one might let you, if you hit the right spot on your technology track, you can pick up a biomass patch, which will give you a little 1x1 square that you can put down on your planet somewhere. There's the tech track, which gives you special benefits when you hit certain levels. There's the civ track, which, again, when you hit certain levels, you get to look at cards, and some of these are endgame scoring. Some of them are immediate bonuses. And then there's the water track, which just gives you points at the end of the game the further you get up it. Each of these tracks also have what are called a synergy bonus in them. When you hit the synergy bonus, you get to move a different track up one time, which is super nice because you can kind of combo that. And if you have a couple of them near that synergy bonus, you can just boom, 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 move all of them up at once, which is super nice. So to wrap it up, as you are adding tiles to your planet, you are potentially putting down meteorites with it. If the meteorite symbol is on the tile you are placing, you are putting a meteorite token onto your planet. Those tokens, 1, give you points at the end of the game if you can collect them with your rover. But more importantly, if you fail to collect them with your rover, they block your scoring.
Mm-hmm.
Your planets score rows and columns of completed tiles. So if you can completely fill one row from one end of the planet to the other end of the planet, you're going to get points based on how long that row is. And you either 1, 2, or 3 points to add to your final score. Same goes with your columns going up and down from your planet, so north to south on your planet. However, you have a meteorite sitting on one spot that's blocking not only the row it sits in, but the column it sits in as well. So you've just lost potentially 6 points by not collecting that meteorite. So kind of important. That is the basics to this game. Now, there's a lot more to it, but without physically pointing to things, it's kind of hard to tell you all the rules. You add in Supermoon. Supermoon adds in a few modules. There are some modules with tiles that each player gets. If they don't want to place what is in front of them on the Lazy Susan, they can place one of these 6 resource tiles instead. These only have 1 resource on them, not 2. But it also has just a small little moon board that goes next to your planet that you can also put tiles onto as you need to. The neat thing with this one, now mind you, this is still going to get asteroids. Asteroids still hit the moon just as rapidly as they do the planet. However, this one has a satellite that orbits the moon. Now, why they didn't put the satellite orbiting the planet, I don't know. But the satellite orbits the moon, and when you place a tile, this is what I found interesting. When you place a tile on the moon's not that big, mind you, so you kind of want to keep them small.
Yeah.
You place a tile, it's a tile that encompasses 3 squares. You move the satellite 3 spaces along the edge of the moon, and then you line that satellite up to either a row or a column that it can point to, and you take out every asteroid in that row or column, which I thought was kind of cool. So it makes you really think about your placement to get all those asteroids lined up so one movement can wipe them all out. So I thought it was pretty interesting. I thought that piece of it added a lot to the game. And I do like the individual tiles, the little pieces that come to it with it. There was also some extra event cards because there is an event deck in the base game. I did not cover that. That it's basically an extra timer to the game. Because the game ends in any fashion when one person has no choices left of their tiles. Their pie piece is wiped out. I've not seen that one happen yet. It came close in the 6-player game I played on Ladies' Night, but it has not happened yet. One person can no longer place any tiles on their planet, cannot legally place the tiles they have options of on their planet, or when the event deck runs out if you're playing with the event deck. The event deck typically has 20 cards in it. I think it adds a few more in Supermoon. I don't remember for sure, but I think it adds a few more. But 20 cards, and then when that deck is out, the game is over, no matter how much space you have left on your planet. Supermoon added a couple different modules. Like I said, the planet, the salvage tiles. That's what they call the little 2-piece tiles that have one resource on them. And then they also offered extra patches. Whereas in the base game, the patches were all just biomass patches. This one, they give you patches of all of the other 3 or all of the other 5, because there's also energy patches too. And I forgot, I didn't even talk about energy because it's not a track. But they give you patches in all 5 of the other resource types because, the whole purpose is maybe to extend it. Some of the special bonuses, some of the goals might say have the largest area of blue, of water. The patches will help you extend or connect 2 patches of water to make your area larger. That's really the only purpose from them that I can see. We've only played with them once, and I don't think I even used mine at all because I didn't need to.
Right.
But anytime you would normally grab a biomass patch, you could grab one of those instead if you needed it. The other resource I did not talk to, I'll double back on that really fast, is the energy resource. That does not have a separate track because it mimics whatever you place it next to. One of the items you place it next to. So if you place an energy resource tile down next to water, you can mimic the water and move your water up instead. Or maybe you place it down to 3 different things. You place it next, you happen to wedge that energy resource right in between water, civ track, and your tech track. You can choose which one it's going to mimic, and you get to move that track up one more time. So that's kind of an interesting one. It lets you, if you can't get the resource you need, and those are available, you can grab that and try and lay it down next to what you do need, which is nice. I had to do that a couple times last night with rovers. Okay, that is the basics of how you play. And I do say basics. So anyway,
yeah,
because there's a lot more to it, but again, it's kind of difficult to do it quickly. And in case you haven't noticed, I don't script anything. It's all off the top of my head. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, the modules, the little single scores, I think I used a couple of them because I think the goals that were beside me, one of them was like the longest river or longest body of water, and I used that one just to kind of extend it out so I could get to
another
a little
open
it up a little bit more. Yeah.
I think that's what they're for, is to kind of help extend in the event you have those.
Yeah, because I think I could one of the pieces I could stick up in there, but I couldn't get it all the way up there to the other piece of water to make that track that continue. So I needed that little patch, so I was able to stick it in there, and now it connected the 2 and made it even longer.
Okay, well, and that's what they're for, which is a viable option for sure. I know the one time we played with them, I didn't use them.
Yeah,
at all.
I think we need to find a variant that you can stick the satellite on the planet.
Right?
That would just be so nice.
That would be so awesome.
But with the satellite, it stays on the moon because the rovers don't go to the moon.
The rovers can't go to the moon.
There was rovers on our moon.
Yeah, well, not on this one.
Nope.
Anyway, all right. So where do you want to start?
Gameplay. The whole 60, 80 minutes is so true because everybody plays at the same time.
Yes, this is, and that's one thing I did not cover. This is 100% simultaneous play.
Yes.
Everybody is playing at the same time. So now I'll be honest, whenever I have taught new people, and I've taught this game a lot, I tend to do my turn quickly and then watch everybody else to make sure nobody's having questions.
Right.
And unfortunately, that always affects my final score because I'm not thinking about what I'm doing. I'm watching them think about what they're doing.
Well, we always said, though, if the person teaching the game beats everybody real bad, then it was a bad teach. But if they lose, then it was a good teach because you taught them how to play the game well.
Exactly. Well, I lost. Well, no, last night. We played this last night. What was
yes,
the final score
I
last
don't
night?
know if you've logged the plays yet
I have
or
not logged
so.
it on BGG, no. April won this last night. Yeah, I actually came in third. So, yeah, April won this one last night. She beat you by a point. One meteorite.
That's right.
One measly meteorite.
Technically, we were tied, but she found a meteorite off the side of her board that she didn't know if it was supposed to be there or not.
No, we counted because she had removed all of her meteorites, and she had pulled it off on the very last turn and set it aside and forgot to put it in the right place. But so she went through and she counted all the meteorites on her board, and there were 9.
Okay.
But she only had 8 up in her thing.
Okay.
So she should have had 9. So she beat you by a point.
So if I could have gotten that other meteorite out, I would have beat her.
Yeah, you would have tied her again. And
well, I was like 3 spaces away from getting that last one, but I was also just 1 space away from a life pod.
Oh, so either one would have
been
done
tied
it. Yeah, either one would have tied you back up. But
That's right.
So gameplay wise, again, it's very quick. I love the fact that at 2-player it takes an hour. At 6-player, it takes an hour.
And that's even with the AP.
Yes.
Because, I mean, you only have 2 tiles you're going to pick, so it can only go in certain areas. It's just the AP is part of like on how you want to place it down there that's going to do the best for you.
Supermoon adds a little bit to it because you now have that moon.
Yeah, if you're like, well, these are the pieces I get.
Yeah.
I don't want to put it there because that's going to give me another meteorite.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really fit there. It's not what I was looking for. No, it can fit up there. And then I'll just move the satellite around and take out that meteorite
Yeah.
real quick.
So the moon definitely gives you some options. It also states that on those salvage tiles, the ones that are 2 spaces.
Yeah, it comes with a meteorite.
It comes a meteorite, yes. But it states that is another option. So when it comes to the end of the game and you can't fit anything, and you still have those left, you have to place them.
Oh, you have to
place them. That is a viable option. It is one of your choices.
Okay.
So if you still have those left, and anytime you choose that option, when you place them, you have to place 2 of them at once.
No, that's
They don't have to be next to each other. They can be on opposite boards. But you have to place 2 of them at once. So basically, that is an option during 3 turns of the game, is to place 2 of those tiles. Which were interesting. I think I used all of mine when I played at Ladies' Night.
I did too.
I think I did with our game too, because they're nice little tiles. Yes, they're meteorites. You get more, but if your rover's in the right place at the right time, it's not too bad.
So yeah, gameplay on this, it's just really easy. If you like polyomino games, you'll like this game.
A lot of people who don't like polyomino games still like this because of the resource tracks.
Yeah, I enjoy this game.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big polyomino fan.
Yeah, I know a lot of people who really enjoy it and they don't like polyominoes. So it's not... I think that resource track and moving the rover around, and I think that adds a lot to it.
Yeah.
It takes the focus off just the polyominoes. So, I think. I like polyominoes, so... The
components on this game... Now, the original retail version of this had cardboard chits for the pods and the meteorites.
No,
was that correct?
those were wood.
Those were
They
wood.
were wood cylinder. The life pods were wood cylinders. The meteorites were orange starburst discs.
Okay.
We have one of the deluxe versions from
the original
deluxe version where the life pods and meteorites are plastic. But they had a weird wash over.
They're more of a resin.
They're not resin. They're kind of like a rubbery plastic.
Yeah.
But they have a wash over them, which a lot of people did not like. I don't mind them. Honestly, we played last night with a 2nd edition, and I kind of like mine better. I like that wash on it. It just made them look more authentic to me. They look dirty. But
the pods kind of look like they were like a glow in the dark blue when the light hit them a certain way.
Yeah, they did.
It may have been though that the table we were playing on had the inlaid lights going around the inside.
LED lights, yeah, that's possible. But I don't know. I think the components, no matter which way you go, as far as those are concerned, are good.
Yeah.
Whether you're doing the wood or you've got the plastic pieces.
Yeah.
I think they're all perfectly
everything's
fine.
It all works.
Exactly, it does. The corporation boards are dual layered.
Yes.
Actually, they're triple layered because they
have
are dual
another side.
sided.
Yep.
It's another thing I forgot to mention. When the planet boards, and I love this, there's in the base game there are 6 planet boards. The deluxe version had 2 additional.
Mm-hmm.
Those 6 boards, one side of them is all the same. It's all symmetric.
Yep.
Everybody has the same planet, basic planet. But you flip them over, and now everybody can have an asymmetric planet. All of them have different rules, different layouts. There's one with a giant hole in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
There's a chasm literally splitting the planet in 2, and you can't cross it with tiles or your rover. So there's a lot of different options on those planets, and I think we've played most of them now.
Yeah.
But also, the corporation boards. One side is universal. It's a universal corporation. Everybody's the same.
Mm-hmm.
You flip them over, and now every corporation is different. And they all have different rules and different goals and different technologies. And I love that. So we've played with a lot of both sides a lot. Anytime we play with new players, we always play universal. But if we've played with somebody who's played before, man, we flip that sucker over. Or when we play by ourselves, and we explore those planets and corporations. I think it adds a lot of variety to the game. But back to the components. See, I keep finding things I forget about.
Yep.
So back to components, the boards.
Mm-hmm.
The corporation boards are great.
Yeah.
They're all dual layered. Flip them over, still dual layered. I think those are fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
The planet boards.
I think they can get away with dual layer boards.
I would love-
just like the way the corporation boards are
Yeah.
at. So they have that ring on around the outside to
I
hold,
would love
hold
that.
it in.
I don't think it's ever going to happen because of the flip side. That piece in the middle would be very thin. Those would warp horribly, and I think that's probably why one cost, 2 box size. Because
Yeah, because
now
it would add a lot to the size of the box.
Yeah. Right now, the planet boards are all very thin boards. They're heavy cardstock, essentially. Heavy, glossy cardstock. They are not cardboard by any measure.
Mm-hmm.
I think if they tried to make, because I thought about this last night, it's like, man, if they tried to make them dual layered, you're going to have that thin piece of paper in the middle and then the edges on both sides expanded.
Right.
And I think that would warp horribly. So I don't know if they thought about it and it just didn't work, or they just said, nope, we're not even going to try. I don't know. But other than that, which again, I mean, they're serviceable. They're fine.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I think the components are fine. The tiles are all wonderful. The tiles are all a nice thickness for polyomino tiles. They're all well cut. They fit together nicely. The Lazy Susan, I think, is fantastic. Although ours, I would have to take ours and compare it to Rob and April's, because I feel like their Lazy Susan was just a hair shorter than ours.
Yeah,
because their tiles kept sliding out.
especially the U-shaped one.
Yeah,
it was
I
like
don't-
2 tiles above.
I know, and that doesn't
top
make
of
any
that.
sense. So either they got more tiles, or the Lazy Susan is just a hair shorter to accommodate box size, because we do have a little bit of box left.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It's just kind of weird. But I love the Lazy Susan. It's an ingenious move. The middle of it literally lifts out, and so you can switch it around to change the options that each person has.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not always the same 2 tiles in every depot or every pie slice. Mm-hmm. You can move that center piece around so that the options change up, which I think was again ingenious.
The lid.
I knew you were coming to that. Yes. Okay. So one of the big selling points in Supermoon was the lid. They were going to finally put a lid, which they should have done in the base game, and they didn't do it for, I don't know why.
Yeah.
But they didn't. They were going to put a lid. They were going to create a lid for the Lazy Susan. This lid makes a better Frisbee than it does a lid, unless you have assistance with it.
And what was their assistance?
A box band that I have read multiple reviews on that said when they put the box band in, don't get it caught in the Lazy Susan mechanism underneath because it'll break it. Not the box band, it breaks the Lazy Susan. Multiple people have complained about that the box band got caught underneath in the mechanism, and now their Lazy Susan is useless.
Mm-hmm.
I never put ours on for that exact reason because I was afraid of that happening.
Yeah.
So we store ours vertically, or not vertically, horizontally. So it was never an issue.
Yeah.
I just left it horizontal. However,
you got a remedy for it
I did.
from one of our gaming group people.
Jason, somebody we met recently. I don't know how the subject came up. I was not in the conversation when somebody showed him the lid.
I think I was just talking about it.
Were you just talking about it? Okay. He tagged me in a message on Facebook a few days after the party and said, "Hey, look what I just found. When he puts the STLs out, I'll print you off a pair or a set." So he printed me off these glorious clips that hold the lid in place. So thank you very much, Jason. I very much appreciate it. I have shown those off to many people. So hopefully this will help other people remedy that.
And you have the link,
awful
right?
Frisbee. I don't think I do, but I think I can get it.
We'll have to find the link and put it in the show notes so everybody hasn't found it yet.
Yes.
Have a way to find it.
Although somebody said they saw them on Etsy, so apparently somebody is selling them on Etsy too. So definitely worth checking out. Much easier to use in that silly box band.
Yes, it is.
So, but
it looks nicer too. It looks like it's part of the game.
It does. It actually looks like it's part
of
the game.
Although yours are blue and red, kind of a rainbowy.
Because he printed them off for me. For
I know.
So I am not arguing.
No.
But yeah, he said he didn't feel like changing the color that was in the printer. I'm like, I don't care what color they are. They work. So I'm happy. But no, thank you very much, Jason. I appreciate it. So that was my only real complaint about this game was the lid. And
now it's been taken care of.
And that's been taken care of, so I'm happy.
Yeah, because it pushes it down nice
it
over
perfectly.
everything. We can now store that if we want to vertically.
Yes. Or we can take it places.
Yeah.
That was the big thing. Is you couldn't take it anywhere without tiles ending up all over the place.
Yep.
Now I can.
So artwork on it.
I love the artwork. I think it's gorgeous. It's pleasing to look at. It's easy to identify. Each one of the icons is super clear, so there's no question as to what you're placing down. I think it's it's gorgeous artwork. I think it's a beautiful game.
Yeah, I've never had any qualms about this artwork. Although the box lid, when you first showed me this game, I was like going, really?
It was
but it grows on you.
It was like a sleeper hit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't think many people put stock in it when it first came out. And then suddenly it was nominated for the Spiel des Jahres. Yeah. And everybody's like, wait, where do I get this game?
Right.
And so I'm happy with this find.
Well, I'm just saying that the box lid,
itself.
The art on the box lid, I just wasn't 100% sure if I really liked it.
You don't like that artwork?
I was kind of like,
I love it.
It's like, what is this game about? It's got two spaceships carrying a pod with water and trees on it.
Yep.
And then it has a space station and some planets, and it looks like couldn't tell if the other. Is that what it is? It looks like it hit one of the ships.
That's pretty sad.
Yeah.
Maybe it was one of the life pods that was empty. We decided last night all the life pods were empty because if you lay a tile on top of them without collecting them first, you squish them.
Yep.
So we decided last night they were all empty. That made us feel better. Anyway.
So, what's your final thoughts on this?
I love this game. For everything I've already said, every person I've ever introduced this game to has really liked it, has really enjoyed it. Now, if it's their favorite game, I don't know. There's a reason it was nominated for the Spiel des Jahres, and it should have won. I would definitely say if you have the opportunity to try this, try it. If you can find it at a good price and a price you're willing to pay without trying it first, get it.
Yeah.
Unless you adamantly do not like Polyomino, you're probably going to like this one. I mean, I haven't found one person yet that doesn't. So don't at me, please, if you are that person. But, I mean, honestly, I would give this one a 5. On our scale of 1 to 5, I would give it a 5. It's a fantastic game.
Yeah, they say on BGG, they say Noble Knights has it for $63.95 and up. Okay.
I've seen it on store shelves lately.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
it's still going to be the retail version.
Yeah, and that Kickstarter just delivered, so they have more of it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm kind of the same. This is one of the few Polyomino games that I'm willing to play whenever it comes out.
You tend to win this one a lot.
I think because of the tracks.
Yeah,
I
like
love
resource tracks.
I love resource tracks. So I think that's the main reason I liked it. It's just like, what can I put out there to make this track go up even farther? Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to race up there, trying to get everything in. Yeah. And it's just me trying to organize, or I don't think that's the right word though, but trying to get it where I can get it to where it'll get one
the synergy bonus,
so I can get another synergy bonus
Yeah.
to get to me to another spot. So
yeah, those when you can make those combo, man, they are nice.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I would have to agree, a 5 on this.
Yeah, highly recommended.
Yep. So that is Planet Unknown. We both give it a 5.
Yay.
I think that's the first ever.
I think it is. Yeah.
So next we're going to talk about the best game in the world as of last year and the year before that.
Okay.
But this is Firefly the Game.
All right. So Firefly is about as open world as you can get in a game. This is a pick up and deliver, travel to and do jobs, aim to misbehave type of game. All right, so with Firefly, this one takes direct lines to the series and the movie, i.e. Firefly and Serenity. Each person is operating a ship, whether it be a Firefly-class ship or one of the others that showed up in the game, the SS Walden.
In the movie.
In the movie,
or
I'm
the
sorry.
series.
Or the series. I did say the game,
You said the
didn't I?
game.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, they show up in the game because they're in the game.
In the movie or the series. So there's a number of different ships available. Now, just to be clear, we have the 10th anniversary deluxe edition.
We had
However,
everything else before that, though.
We did, because all we ended up getting was the expansion in the box. We got this game when it was just a single box, standard size box that was chock full of chips. Mm-hmm. Holy mackerel, was it chock full of stuff. So we've had this game for a while. We've had it for probably 10 years now since it first came out. One by one, they've added expansions. Blue Sun, Calidassia, various new ships. So we've gotten everything that's out so far. So how you play the game. Everybody operates a ship. You have a shipboard in front of you that has cargo space, potentially stash space where you can stash your illegal stuff and hope not to have it seized by somebody. You have your drive that tells you how far you can go if you decide to hard burn and spend a lot of fuel to do so. You have your maximum crew, how many people can fit on your ship and live comfortably. You have your crew, basically your hold that holds all your other stuff. During the game, you are traversing through this map, through the verse, going from planet to planet, searching for jobs or to do jobs, or to look for equipment, to hire crew, to pick up various pieces of equipment, various ship upgrades. All right, so the planets in this game all come directly from the movie and from the series. Mm-hmm. Straight from Miranda, way out on the edge of the verse where nobody wants to go.
Where all the Reavers are, right?
There is actually a job that goes there, though.
Is there?
No, thank you. Yes, I've seen it. And I'm like, nope, put that sucker back.
I bet it pays.
Not going out there. But yeah, all the way from Miranda on one end, clear out to, I can't even think of what's on the other end. Magistrate Higgins area on the other end of the verse.
The Caldassia or whatever.
No, Mr. Universe is over by the...
It's just south of Miranda.
Yeah, just south of Miranda. But you've got the big ones, Persephone, and, of course, White Sun, and I'm blanking on a lot of them now. But you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. At each location, there are planets all over the board. Because if you can't do anything else and you're in a sector with a planet, you can work for $200. Done. Mm-hmm. However, that's a pretty minor action. It's kind of a last fallback action. You can move. Moving, it entails two different options. You can mosey, which means you can just move one space over. Now, I know on the podcast itself, if you're listening to this on iTunes or wherever, you're not going to see a picture of this, but on YouTube, I will put a picture of the board out. But the board is divided up into space sectors with different galaxies, all over the board, and then
systems.
Different systems or galaxies all over the board, and then the areas in between them divided up into various space sectors. Mm-hmm. So you can move from sector to sector and just mosey and spend no fuel to do it. But that's a really slow way to move because the board is big. Mm-hmm. Or you can hard burn, and that costs you a fuel. You go up to the amount of your drive, whether it be a 4, 5, or 6. I think that's most of the drives are 4, 5, or 6. The base is 5. However, now you start flipping cards. There are 3 decks, 3 navigation decks that determine what happens out in space. The middle there is called the Alliance space. That's the blue cards. Then you get into the border space. Those are kind of an orangey brown. And the line colors change. So that's how you differentiate which area you're in, is the line colors of the sectors. So then you get into that area. And this now holds spaces like Space Bazaar and Persephone. And Persephone is actually on the very edge of Alliance space. But you get out into the area where Patience and Nishka are at.
Yeah.
And
Regina.
Regina, right. So you get it out into some of the outer areas here.
Silverhold.
So that area you're pulling from the orange deck. And the orange deck, it gets a little worse. You start moving reavers around a little bit and things. But then you get out into the rim space. And now I feel like a third of the cards are reaver cards. And it's not like they're coming straight to you, though there is a card that does that. Thank God we never ran into that one. Because that kills half your crew. But that one, you just move reavers around the board. Depends on how cutthroat you want to play as to how close they come to you.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So a lot of these cards are not only moving other ships, the bad guys around, they are ship breakdowns. Spend a couple parts or you break down. Hey, make a roll. There was bandits came and tried to take over your ship. Make a roll. Can you make it? Great. Nope. Sorry, you broke down. And, full stop, whatever. Hey, you can rescue survivors from something. Do you want to do that? Great. Full stop, because now you have to stop and help these people. Or you can keep flying, but you have to disgruntle some of your crew because they didn't want to leave. So it's all sorts of different things that determine how quickly you can make it to your destination. Another option is to shop. At a lot of the planets, there's probably at least 9 planets you can shop at, and I'm kind of guessing at that number. I think
so. I'm trying to look through and see exactly what there was.
Okay, but places like Persephone and Osiris and Regina, and there's a number of Space Bazaar is a big one.
Silverhold and
you can go shopping.
Beaumont.
Yep, you can go shopping, and by doing so, you look at the discard pile. If there's nothing in there you want, then you can ask for 3 new cards from the top of the deck. Everybody can look at the discard pile at any point they wish to, and you can consider items from the discard pile. But if you don't want anything there, you pull from the deck, you pull 3 new cards, and you can consider those now. You can buy up to 2 items per turn. Some of them get kind of costly, but they're handy. When they're costly, they're handy. But you can also hire crew. Crew gives you one of 3 possible, I don't want to say actions, but one of 3 possible icons that will help you in future endeavors. You either have guns, you have negotiation, or you have mechanics. And you need to build those 3 up before you really start diving into most of the jobs. Another option you can do is to go search for jobs. And that's when you start hitting places like Patience and Nishka and what is the Alliance one? There's one, you go to the Alliance ship. Harkin. Okay.
You got Badger
and Magistrate Higgins and Mr. Universe, and there's all sorts of them in there.
Lord Harrow, I should say.
So you can go to them and see about finding work. And same thing applies. You can look at the discard pile at any point, but if you don't want any of those jobs, you take the new one. You've got to look at things like, is it a crime job or a smuggling job? Is it illegal? Do you have moral people on your crew? Is it immoral? Because immoral crew members will not participate in immoral jobs. Go figure. So there's a lot to look at when you're considering. The job cards will show you what you have to do when you pick up the supplies or whatever you have to do, and it'll show you what you have to do when you drop them off. A lot of them are misbehave cards. Now, there's another pretty thick deck of misbehave cards. And these cards will give you 2 options. Usually at the bottom, it'll tell you this is what you need to proceed. If you don't have this, then you have to do one of the other 2 options. And some of these options are like, you got to make a roll of 10 guns. Well, if you only have 1 gun, you only get to roll 1 6-sider. Good luck with that.
Yes, but with the 10th anniversary, it comes with a new rule that if you roll a 6, which is the starship, the Firefly on it, you can re-roll it.
Right.
It becomes a 6, and then it becomes an exploding 6 now.
Yeah. So that at least, and that actually helped. I think you actually made that.
Me.
You pulled that off the other day. Yeah. So there's that option. Some jobs just require you pick up something and deliver something.
Yep.
Simple as that.
Pick up passengers, take it here, and get so much per passenger you pick up.
Now, when you first start each game, there are setup cards that tell you how to set up different aspects of the game, because some games set up differently than others. And then there are scenario cards, goal cards. And this is what happens, what you have to do to win the game.
Yes.
What you have to do to even be eligible to win the game.
Mm-hmm.
And it's usually a race to be the first person to do that. There's no points involved. It's unless there is an option to just play for a certain amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
Our game the other night was almost 4 hours. And we didn't even get all the way through the goal because it was 4 hours long already. And I was getting kind of tired.
Well, that one was actually very experienced.
Oh, that explains a lot. Okay. Yeah. Nice. Thanks. We are very experienced players at it, but still. Mm-hmm. Anyway, there's a lot going on with this game. As I said, it is about as open world as you get. You decide the jobs you're taking. You decide the crew you hire. You decide where you're going to fly, whether you're going to hard burn, whether you're just going to take it easy and mosey and not risk the reverse attacking. You decide everything in this game except your dice rolls. That's what gets me every time. But I did forget the basics on this. So before we start actually digging into this one, let me go back over that. The original game was put out in 2013. Mm-hmm. The anniversary edition, I have not looked up the actual anniversary. I think it was 2024. So I think it has a 2024. But it's considered the 10th anniversary edition. It says 1 to 4 players. However, there are now like 8 or 9 ships. I feel like it'd be a super long game at that many players. But base game says 1 to 4. 120 to 240 minutes, ages 13 and up. Designed by Aaron Dill, John Kowaleski, and Sean Seagart? I'm going to go with Seagart. Artist Charles Woods. Published by Gale Force 9 LLC.
Plays 1 to 10 players.
Okay, so yes, the 10th anniversary edition. Wow. Yes, it is listed as last year, 2024. Still same designers. Good God, 1 to 10 players. Can you imagine how long? It still says 2 to 4 hours.
Yeah.
There's no way you're going to play 10 players in 4 hours.
And each scenario card tells you about how long it's supposed to take.
At 10 players? Mm-hmm. Anyway, designers, mostly the same. Aaron Dill adds Joe Kepler, so he must have added in on some of the 10th anniversary stuff.
Yeah.
George Krubsky and Sean Seagart. Art Christian Casado Otazu. So totally different artist. Still put out by Gale Force 9. That's the official stuff. Okay. I'm done talking. How about you talk about your favorite game now?
The gameplay. Yeah, the scenario we played was called Dead Man's Hand. The one that we played just the other night.
And I thought it was an interesting variation. It was the first time we'd ever used the cards for their suits.
Yeah, because on the misbehaving cards, it has suits on it. And on this one of the things to get your goal was to have a dead man's hand, which meant you either had 4 suits of one type or 3 suits.
4 cards of one suit. You said 4 suits of one type.
Hey, they knew what I was talking about. Anyway, or 3 cards with one suit and 2 cards with another suit.
I.e. a full house.
A full house, though. So, and the only way you can get those is by misbehaving. And so every time you misbehaved, whether it was just 1 card you had to do or 4 cards you had to do, one of those cards that you passed, you could keep towards this dead man's hand.
Right.
That was the part that was taking the longest for me.
Yes.
I had it where I had 2 cards, 2 clubs. But the other things you had to have was you had to be solid with three contacts, and being solid means you had to have worked a job for them and finished it and got paid. Yep. Did it successfully, and then you're solid with them. So I was actually solid with 4 people, and then you also had to have $9,000 to go to Deadwood and pay whatever it was that you had to pay for down there.
Yeah.
But you had to bring a gold token with you.
Mm-hmm.
And to get that gold token, you had to have that dead man's hand. That's the only thing that was holding me up because I had plenty of money. I had all the contacts I need. I just didn't have the hand yet. I know you had a bad game. You were having a horrible game to the point where she was violently upset, it seemed like, at me about this game.
I wasn't. I was bound and determined it was not going to get a good review. It's a good thing I've slept twice since then. I was having a rough game because, I pulled the Alliance card.
Yep.
Simple as that. I pulled the Alliance card when I had a stash full of contraband.
Yeah, and you just picked it up.
I had just picked that contraband up for a job. If you pick up supplies for a job and you lose them in any fashion, you cannot go back and pick up more. You've started this job. You have to complete it. It sits there taking up space.
Now, there is way to get that stuff again.
There is, but you got to pull the right cards when you are hard burning.
Right, or be solid with the certain people that you could possibly get it from.
You can't buy from those people. You sell. You cannot buy.
They allow you to pick
anywhere.
up things in certain areas. Some of them do.
I would say I never came across one.
Okay.
But anyway, most of them are on your navigation cards.
Yeah, a lot of the navigation cards do allow you to pick up cargo or fugitives or passengers.
Contraband is what I needed. And I kept coming across passengers.
There's been contraband on some of them.
I never came across contraband after that moment. And it was easily 2 full hours.
But that was, you lost all your contraband.
I lost
and
all
you didn't have, and you had warrants, and you didn't have enough to pay warrants, so you lost all your money too.
Yes, I lost all my money. I had 0 money. Not the supplies I needed to finish this job.
And running out of fuel.
And I was running out of fuel.
But one of the things you can do in this, if you're low on money and you're trying to traverse across, you can stop at a planet and for one of your actions is work, and you get $200.
Right.
But it's a slow way to rebuild.
It's a very inefficient move, but sometimes it's all you can do.
Sometimes it's all you do, especially if you have it. Yeah. Well, it's one thing to do when you have a job clear across the verse that you have to go all the way to the other side. So if you can't make it to like a space station or someplace where you can just shop while you're there too, or to somebody you can pick up another job that, hey, maybe I can pick up a job here that will get me more stuff. And you can stop and on one of the planets and fuel up.
Because I might say, you cannot do the same action twice on the same turn.
Correct.
So you cannot hard burn twice.
Right.
Once your first hard burn is done, you're done. Yeah. Now you got to find something else to do on that second turn.
So the last game we played, we had all the expansions in except for the bounties.
Right, which we never
did not play the bounties because that takes that game and makes it extremely mean.
It does, which we need to honestly pull that expansion out because a lot of the cards that I kept pulling, that's all I was getting.
Yep.
So,
and I offered to say, do you need me to go through there and take all those cards out? And you says it's whatever.
I do not remember you saying that because I would have absolutely said yes.
She was so frustrated with this game the other night that, because I asked her that because it was like 2 or 3 different times you would pull a card and you'd pull one of the pirate cards. Yeah. And I was like, do you want me to go through these decks and pull those all out? I don't care. It's fine. It's whatever. So she was pretty upset with this game.
I was very upset with this game on Friday.
Now, this actually did make your top 100 this year.
It did.
But she even told me that night that if I had played this before, it just wouldn't have even made the top 500.
I was pretty bad
with a few other words. But
yeah.
You were extremely upset about this game. Yeah. I was having a little bit of problem with certain things at first, but it started to come around, and I started to build up, and I was enjoying the game. I've always enjoyed this game, whether I win it or lose it.
I enjoy what it does. I enjoy the world. Mm-hmm. Let's put it that way. I feel like this is one of those games that if you are familiar with the Firefly world, you are going to enjoy this game in some aspect. Mm-hmm. I think it requires. Well, and I don't even want to say it requires that because we've introduced this to Jeff, who knew nothing about the world, and he and his wife both very much enjoyed the game for the most part. He did say they had some bad games and they had some frustrating games, but they still enjoyed it overall. They enjoyed the open world aspect of it, and it did get them to start watching the series. But I feel like if you have that connection with the crew,
Yes.
that connection from the series and the movie, you can't help but enjoy this on some level.
Yeah.
I think they did a very good job of making it thematic.
This is one of those games that steals from the series and the movie works.
The
'Cause
movie steals, yes.
Some games, it's like, really, did you have to do that? But this one,
This
it
one
works.
it works very
I mean,
well.
It is what it is, but other ones, they'll just do artwork on it. And it's like because like the artwork in the Legendary, Firefly Legendary is absolutely horrible.
Awful. I feel like
But-
they didn't have the right to the images and they had to alter them.
Right.
Anyway,
Yep.
that's another game.
Yes, anyway.
But this one they used movie stills, and you're right. I think it works.
It brings more of that theme into it even more.
It makes it very thematic, especially if you are familiar with the world.
Yeah.
Which I feel like this is one of those series that it lasted one season, but it had such a cult following that they had to do a movie to wrap up the storyline to make the fans happy.
Yeah, because the way it ended, it was like going, wait, no,
what's happening
Don't
here?
end here.
Right? So I think this is one of those that if it had been done now, would have probably come back already because of the cult following. But of course, all of these actors have moved on. Some have passed away. It's never going to be what it was. So, but anyway, it does have an 8.8 on BGG. The collector's edition does.
Yes.
I did not look at what the other. So people really love this collector's edition.
Yeah. Well, it brought it back out to where everybody sees it in because the older version of the game was selling very cheaply. I mean, we were even finding it at Goodwill.
I found it at Goodwill for $5. We have this one in the travel collection as well because of that. Even the original game has a 7.4, which is nothing to sneeze at.
No.
That's still very good.
Nope.
So
with this game, with the 10th anniversary, they came with some extra new rules that you could play with. One of them being the exploding six-sided dice, which actually is not listed under the 10th anniversary collection edition, though. But they do have another rule because on all the dice before, it was always the pips, and then the 6 was the Firefly symbol there. Right. Well, now on one of the sides, they have the disgruntled symbol on it, which is the 1. And they have a variant that you can play with that. If you rolled the 1, there is 3 different things you can make it do because it says during setup, decide if rolling a disgruntled face just counts as a 1 or if instead it results in one of the following things. And those following things is 1, you disgruntle a crew. Proceed or not, some twist has made one of your crew unhappy, so you pick which crew becomes disgruntled. Or it's an automatic failure. This is the harshest option and is recommended only for veteran players. Aces and crews and gears that allow for rerolls become incredibly valuable. So if you roll that, it's an automatic failure of the job.
Yeah, like I said,
and then
I would have been in so much trouble on the last game if we'd done that.
Yeah, and then the third one is success at a cost. Accept a failure or pay a price to continue normally. The cost depends on the skill used. For a fight test, you could kill a crew member and continue on with the skill test. Or for a tech, you spend a part. Or for negotiate test, you just disgruntle a crew member. So that's something new they give. Also, they have upgrades for all the basic ships that come with the game, the base game and everything. So it gives you it lets you start with an upgrade.
Right. Which was really nice.
Right. Plus, it gives you more solos stuff, more story cards, which now makes that the story card pack is extremely large now.
It is very thick.
It's very thick. Yeah. But yeah, this, like I said, I have always enjoyed playing this game. I've always loved it to play. And this one also came with, or was that Cardassia or Caldassia or whatever you called it.
Caldassia.
Did that come with the extra Reaver ships? Was it that expansion, or was it this one that came with it?
No, we had extra Reaver ships. Came with.
I will look because
Blue
the way
Moon?
the new rule book is, it breaks it down the
It
components
was
down
either
to what's
Caldassia or
in the
it's
game.
whichever one added the Miranda side of the map.
It is the Blue Sun.
Blue Sun. Okay.
The Blue Sun came with it.
So that came with 3 extra Reaver ships.
2 extras, because the base game came with 1,
That's
and then
true.
it came with 2 more.
That's right. Because it added in the new expansion to the map added Reaver space. So they
Yes.
added in the extra Reaver ships. But yeah, the original map only went as far as Patience and Nishka, basically.
Yeah.
And then over just past Space Bazaar.
Right.
The original map was a fairly small section of the verse. And then, like I said, Blue Moon or Blue Sun. I keep calling it Blue Moon. Blue Sun added in Mr. Universe and Reaver Space, and I don't remember what's on the south end of that one.
Higgins, I think.
Is that Higgins over there?
I think.
Anyway, and then Caldassia added in Caldassia.
Yeah.
And
No,
Manti and Fingo.
Yeah.
Manti and Fingo? Am
it
I
was
saying
Lord
that right?
Harrow.
Lord Harrow, okay. So
Blues.
it added in, each of the 2 big expansions added in whole sections of the board.
Yes.
And in the original game, it came with another cardboard board you put on each side.
Correct.
So the 10th anniversary edition came with this gorgeous neoprene mat that was the entire verse.
And it give you an option of 2 different ones.
Yes, because you
could get Vera.
Vera has been out for a while.
Yeah,
We
but
just
it gave
never
you the
got
option
it.
to get it too with
Yes.
this.
And then it's just
regular mat.
a smaller one that actually fits in the box, which I love.
Yeah,
they made the mat small enough to fit in. Now, mind you, it's a coffin-sized box.
Yeah.
But they made the mat small enough to fit inside the box, but still
Mm-hmm.
plenty big enough to play on.
Right, and it's of the whole verse.
It's the whole
So
verse.
it makes it hard if you just want to play the base game.
Yeah,
But I feel like, why would you just play with the base game now if you have the edition with everything in it?
exactly. Now, like I said, we're probably going to end up taking out bounty hunters.
Yeah.
Just because we never play with it, and we might as well take those cards out and shrink those decks a little bit to make it easier to find what you're hoping to find. Because I couldn't find nothing I was hoping to find the other day.
Right.
But that's beside the
Now,
point.
the 10th anniversary also comes with another expansion
It did.
called
Capers.
Capers. Yeah, that's where you're playing. You are dealing with
Yolanda,
Yolanda, Princess, Bridget, whatever she wanted to go by, in Saffron.
In the series, she was known by 3 different names. They've given her 3 more aliases in this expansion.
Right.
But she was Bridget, Yolanda. Sorry, I worked with somebody called Yolandia, and now it's stuck. Yolanda and Saffron were the 3 in the series.
Yep. So with this expansion, if you have her on your ship, you can do one of her plans. So you could take a job from her. Now, it takes an action to get a job from her, though. But they're all misbehaving.
Yeah.
And it's usually 4 misbehaving that you got to do, and then a side thing that will determine exactly how much money you're going to make. And on this one, too, it deals with the suits on the cards. Because it gives you, like one of them I did, I had to misbehave 4 times and I would get $4,000. But it subtracted $500 for every heart that I had on the cards of the misbehaving that I did. For every heart, I lost $500. But then
that's right.
Then another one, it was like $2,000, but for every diamond I had, it added $500. But then you had this little side thing you had to do, which was always negotiation. And if you passed it, you got an extra $1,000. If you just barely passed it, there was nothing extra added. But if you're like 1 to 4, I think it was like 1 to 4, you lost money. Now, the thing about this, though, is you have this job as long as you have that. But if somebody else was to go to another base and pulled another one of her characters up, now they have it. She leaves your ship.
Does the job go with her?
You have a chance to finish the job.
Okay.
But
She just
if you don't,
abandons
it
the
goes
job.
away. Yeah.
Okay.
But if not, it goes away.
Okay.
Now, there are some of the jobs that tells you that you have to disgruntle her. Actually, there is a term they have brought in for that one, which for some reason it's escaping my head. Crew members that are deceptive, and that's what you need. You need a deceptive crew to do these jobs. Well, she comes as a deceptive, so she makes it part of this deceptive crew.
Okay.
But it tells you that you have to disgruntle your deceptive crew, and then at the end of the job, they leave the ship. So sometimes you lose her. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you can keep her and go on to another job until somebody else finds her again under another alias. So it makes it interesting.
Yeah.
And for the game that we played, where we needed those misbehaving cards with the different suits on it,
certainly helped out.
it helped out.
Helped you.
Yes, because you were doing 4 misbehavings at a time, and you were going to get one of them.
Yeah.
So if you
hopefully.
could continue to do those jobs,
And
you could
they
get
were
to a
big
little bit
money.
easier. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And they got a lot of money out of them.
Yeah, they were big money. Yeah, I never found one of her aliases, so
But yeah,
I couldn't
so
find anybody I was looking for.
like I said, other than bounty, and bounties is one of those that if you come into a port where another ship is at and you have a bounty out, there is a bounty out for somebody on that other ship's crew.
Yeah.
You can grab them and
Yeah. And see, and that was part of the problem with when I got hit by the Alliance ship. Not only did he take all of my stash, the contraband I needed for that job, I had 4 wanted crew members. You have to roll a die when you get boarded, basically, to see if those crew members managed to hide in time or not. 2 of mine did. The other 2 I rolled freaking 1s on, which means I lost those crew members.
Yep.
So I lost half my crew, all of my contraband, all of my money.
But she's not bitter.
It was very frustrating.
Oh, okay. She was
So,
bitter. She was very bitter.
frustrating. Anyway.
But anyway, though, but with in the main part of the game, though, when you come into a port and there is a ship there, another ship there, and they have disgruntled crew,
Yes,
you can hire them out from. You can hire them away, and then you lose the disgruntled part, and they become part of your ship.
Yeah, we've never done it that way, just because
No.
it's a little more take that than we want. But
It's
It's
a
a
cool
thing.
concept, and it's very thematic.
it is. It's a thing.
But
But
I
yeah.
mean, like I said, this game to me is very, very, very. It's probably the most dramatic game that we really play. I feel.
I think so. I can agree there.
Even after playing Star Trek Ascendancy, I think this has a lot more theme to
Well,
it.
you're more into this theme. You're more into this world than you are Star Trek, too. Star Trek,
Yeah.
like, if you ask Jeff probably would prefer Star Trek because that's
his
thing.
He loves
Whereas
Star Trek.
Firefly is ours. The one thing I would have a complaint with, and this is super minor, I'm hoping I can figure out a way to fix it, would be the bases for the ships. Because
Yes.
half of the ships do not sit
Almost all
firmly
of
on their bases. The bases are all very generic, and it's almost like the holes in the ship were bored out just a little too much. They don't fit
Yeah.
the bases. They're too big. So if you pick your ship up to move it, the base falls out. You leave the base behind. You literally have to slide it across the board, which luckily it's neoprene, so it slides nicely, but that's beside the point. There's a lot of times there's chips in those areas. There's things on the board that you got to work around. That's my one minor complaint. I'm hoping I can take some sticky tack or something and
We'll figure something out.
I'll figure something out, but
Okay, so we've already talked about the artwork. We
Yes.
like the artwork, and we
Yep.
think the stills actually work with
they
this
do
game.
actually
They
work in this
great.
game. And I think that the board is beautiful,
And
actually.
the components
I
I
think the board's-
really like.
I think
the
the
components
components
are
are all
awesome.
fine. The cards are good quality. All of that, yeah.
Okay. So, final thoughts. Here we go, guys. She's about to trash it.
I think this is a very luck-based game. As I said earlier, if you like the series, if you are thoroughly into this world that was created, I think this game is a must-play at least once because of the thematics behind it. If you are not into Firefly, if you have never watched the series, you are unfamiliar with the world and the characters and the camaraderie between those characters, this probably won't do anything for you unless you really like open world games. If you like open world space games and you're not familiar with it, then it's worth a check out. I don't know if it's worth $250 to buy the anniversary edition, but if you can find the base game at a decent price, then great. Or you know somebody who has it. I don't know. I am very torn on this one. Like I said, it made my top 100 this year. Spoilers, because that hasn't even come out yet. But we had some really good plays of it early in the year, and I think that's why. Had I played Friday's game prior to doing the top 100, it would not have made my top 100 because it was a thoroughly frustrating game to me because the dice kept rolling ones. I could not get anything to work. I couldn't pass any of the misbehaves unless it was a, hey, great, you have a transport, you pass. That was the only ones I ever passed. I never passed one based on a roll. So, and I tried building up my crew so I could pass them. I'd have it without worrying about it. Nope. Lost half my crew. That didn't work. And of course, the very next misbehave, I had to have a mechanic. Guess which one I lost during the raid was my mechanic. So it just, nothing worked. It was just one hit after another. And that's very frustrating. And I'm not the only one. I've heard other people have this same problem sometimes with this game. It is very luck based because of the cards you're finding, which I think having all of the expansion cards in does dilute the decks and makes it harder to find what you need, i.e. good crew members. I kept finding crap crew members. I don't know. I would give this a 3, probably, because I have had a lot of good games with it, and we've had a lot of fun times with it. But at the same time, I don't think it's for everybody. I really don't. I think if you like the world, you should check it out. If you are unfamiliar with the world, it might not be for you. So I think this is one of those that very much depends on having familiarity with the world that it portrays.
Okay. You didn't trash it as bad as I thought I did. Okay, so I do agree. Okay, it does have a lot of luck, but I think there's plenty of ways to mitigate that luck. I don't like the fact in the 10th anniversary, like you said, though, that the ships don't sit on the stands because they're too big. Also, I think they missed a huge... They were making this such a grand production of this game. They missed it on the first player token. It should have been a toy dinosaur, not a little metal dinosaur that you barely see as you're passing around. It needed to be one of those big dinosaurs that you can buy in a toy store.
You know, like the kind Wash played with in the series, every episode. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, it didn't have to be that big, but make it that, not this little metal piece. Yeah. I think they could have done that. That's the only real complaint I have about the components on that, though. But I do hear where you're saying, oh, it's all luck. Yeah, but I still think there's ways to get around that you just didn't seem to have, though. But I love how you're going out, and I love the thematic of this game, and I love this series. So I'm giving this a 5 if nobody has figured that one out yet. But I think it is definitely a game that you need to play at least once. Is it a long game? Yeah, it's a long game, but I don't think it feels like it's a long game. But I don't think I've ever had a frustrating game of this. So, I mean, I don't think I've won the game maybe once or twice out of all the times we've played this. This is one of the games I just love sitting down and getting to play. Because I feel like I'm in the IP itself. That it just immerses you into it. So it's a 5 for me and a 3 for you. That is Firefly the Game. So this is going to do it for episode 83. If you like this episode or any of our content and haven't subscribed to the podcast, please do so by going to iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And while you're there, give us a rating and a comment. This is how others can find the show. But in the meantime, if you want to follow us on social media, just to keep up with us and see what we're doing, follow the link below in the show notes. There you'll find our links to Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, YouTube, Threads, Discord, Blue Sky, and our merch shop. Or you can contact us directly at meeplesociety@mail.com. Thanks for listening, and we will see you at the next one.